Welcome to Education Matters, presented by the Public School Forum of North Carolina. I'm your host, Dr. Marianne Wolf. This week, we're joined by some outstanding educators, the 2025-26 North Carolina Wells Fargo Regional Principals of the Year. They've been recognized for their strong leadership and commitment to student success, and today they'll share some insight on how they're striving to lead learning environments that prepare students for life. You are in for a treat. We are so pleased today to be joined by Dr. John Lassiter from Northeast Hertford Grammar School and Perquimans County School, Kelly Withrow, Battleground Elementary School and Lincoln County Schools, Dr. Laura Bailey, Scotland High School and Scotland County Schools, Dr. Jessica LaBrose Anthony from Davenport A+ Elementary School and Caldwell County Schools, Dr. Jake E. Wilson from Mountain Island Charter School in Mount Holly, North Carolina, and Jason Johnson, Orange County High School and Orange County Public Schools. Welcome to each of you. I am so pleased to be joined today by our Regional Principals of the Year, and this is an all-star group, so thrilled to hear from each of you. We know how much work you do every single day for kids, and I often remind people that teachers are the #1 school-related factor that influences student outcomes, and principals are second only to teachers. So we know you do such important work every single day. We'd love to hear from you about how your role, like how you view your role and why it's been so important to you to be highlighted as the Principal of the Year. Jessica, I'm going to start with you.
For me, it is a moment of pride, not just for me, but for my school, because there's nothing that I do. Like you said, I mean, teachers are the ones with that direct impact, and there's nothing that I do that I could do successfully without them. And so it's not, for me, it's not just a moment for myself. It's really a moment to highlight and congratulate my teachers for helping us build something beautiful together, because I'm only being recognized because, you know, yes, there are things that I do, but like I said, I couldn't do anything that I do, and I couldn't do it well without them. So
Thank you so much. Jake, how about you?
Yeah, I'll echo what Jessica said. It's really our job is to lead through service, and that's what each and every one of us do. That's the mark of a great principal is the person who comes to work each day, ready to clear barriers for their teachers and do whatever is needed. One of the things I say to my teachers when something random pops up in the school is that every job is my job. And so whether that is designing a master schedule for next year or grabbing a mop because there's a spill in the cafeteria, that's we do whatever is needed at the moment. And most often the things that we do are done so that we can, help teachers do their job and focus on what really matters every day. I agree with you. The biggest impact in a classroom in a school is our teachers. And I like to believe that that impact is made bigger by the work of principals. And it's an honor to get to do that.
Absolutely. Kelly?
Pretty much going to echo what Jake and Jessica said. It is such an honor, but at the same time, it's such a collective achievement from all of us at our school. It's definitely a school community achievement. Like they stated, it's not the principal, it's the staff, it's the custodians, it's the cafeteria ladies, it's the students. I think it's just a fun, just a way to celebrate all the great things that are happening at my school at Battleground Elementary. It's just all of us working together to showcase the greatness that's happening within those walls. So I'm very honored.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to switch gears just a little bit. And from Jason, John, and Laura, I would love to hear about what drives you individually as an educator and what really inspired you to pursue this career path, because we know this is not an easy path to pursue. Jason?
I guess for me, I didn't really have that traditional growing up wanting to be an educator. In fact, my mother didn't even want me to become a teacher. She wanted me to do something different. But what inspired me to become an educator, I had an opportunity while I was at North Carolina A&T State University to do a field experience at Faust Elementary School. And this was 1993 when I was doing this field experience, and it was in the elementary school. And, that's really not my jam, so to speak. But one of the things I recognized when I went out into the field and started playing football with the kids, like I was their hero, right? Like they wanted to jump on me. They wanted to hear about my day. They wanted to hear about college life. So at that moment, I knew I wanted to be in some field of service.
Wow, that is wonderful. And you quickly switch gears too then to go down that path. That's amazing. John, how about you?
For me, it was my faith more than anything. We've had some of the other regional principal of the years talk about the importance of servant leadership, and that's something that's important to me. And so I think it's an opportunity to invest into the community that invested into me as a child. I super thankful for the sacrifices that my parents made to give me the future that I was able to pursue, and I'm able to be the principal of the school that I attended when I was a child. And so to be able to come full circle, come back home and invest in students as educators that I respected, invested in me was an incredible opportunity, and an opportunity to love on kids, to serve kids, and hopefully ultimately to open the future to students that they deserve. I'm from a very rural part of the state, a low income part of the state, and I don't believe that a child's education should be dictated by the zip code that they grow up in. And so I've wanted to become an educator and a school leader to open up opportunities for the students that I get to serve every day.
Thank you so much, John. Laura?
I think, well, I know that I decided I wanted to become an educator when I was in high school. I had to teach a lesson in one of my English classes, and that was kind of the turning point for me, because I'd always said I wanted to do something. I wanted to be a lawyer, but when I did that, I fell in love with teaching, and for me, just loving kids. My superintendent often says to people that you can teach people a lot of things. You can teach people how to teach math or how to teach reading, but you can't teach people how to love. And I just love children, and I feel like the school is particularly in my area where I'm a one high school county. So our school is like the cornerstone of our community. So for me, being able to make an impact, not only in the school building, but recognizing the impact that what goes on in our school building has on improving our community is just really powerful. And why I ended up here, because I have quite a few years of experience at the elementary level as well. So coming back to the high school, it's been different, but the kids are the same. So that they're what drive everything that I do. It's just my love for children.
Thank you so much. We will continue this conversation with our Wells Fargo Regional Principals of the Year after the break.
5,000. Well, I'm here to say we hit almost $13,000, and those kids achieved it all by themselves. They called businesses.
Welcome back. We are so pleased to continue this conversation with our North Carolina Regional Principals of the Year. We are so pleased to be joined by Dr. John Lassiter, Dr. Jessica Anthony, Jason Johnson, Kelly Withrow, Dr. Laura Bailey, and Dr. Jake Wilson. We've been doing quite a bit of work to learn more about perceptions on public schools and what that looks like. And one of the things that's emerged again and again is the importance of how our local public schools prepare students for life. And I'd love to hear just a little bit about what that means to each of you. I'll give each of you a chance to answer that. But also, if there's a particular example that stands out to you from your school, we'd love to hear that too. So I'm going to start this time with Jake, and look forward to hearing about how you and your school prepare students for life. Jake?
That's a great question. My campus is a K-12 campus. I work most with my middle and high school students. And so preparing for the next stage in life is a huge piece of what we do each and every day with working in a high school. We're a 1A high school, and we're a charter school, which means while we have some flexibility, we also have lots of limitations in terms of our size and what we're able to provide. With that said, our team works really hard to provide an incredible variety to our students. And I've always been a big fan as a principal of listening to what our community needs and what our teachers need. And I have found that those two things drive the innovation within a school. And if you're the type of principal to look to serve your team, you're able to open those doors, one right after another. And this has led in my own school to being able to add things like AP capstone programs and dual enrollment programs at a small high school, CTE pathways for students so that they can successfully get a jump on whatever it is they're planning to do right after school. So we graduate a range of students from our OCS department in high school all the way up to Moorhead Kane scholars heading to Duke. We have just an incredible variety of kids, and a lot of that just has to do with allowing our community and our teachers to really use the passion that they have embedded in to really drive what options we give our students. So again, I'll kind of go back to my first answer in that a big goal of mine is to really just help teachers clear those hurdles and do whatever I can to make those dreams possible. And that translates to student success every single time.
Wonderful. John?
When I think about preparing students for life, like I said, I live in the northeast corner part of the state, and it's a rural, low-income part of the state. And I try to teach my students and encourage our teachers to teach students that life's going to throw them curveballs. Like we always sometimes want to shield students from the challenges that we know that they're going to face because we've all faced them in our own lives too. And so, what I try to promote is that, life's going to be hard at times. We're going to deal with things that we wish that we didn't have to, but developing grit and perseverance and resilience is, perhaps the most important thing that we can teach students, and the importance of humility and empathy, because it doesn't matter what career they pursue. Those traits are going to be important regardless of their career path. And so we, of course, teach the basics, reading, writing, arithmetic, those things are important. We teach the standards. I tell teachers all the time that, it's your job to teach your standards so that the next year's teacher gets a student that's ready to be successful and knows the prerequisite knowledge that they need to be successful. But even more important than that is that we want students to be able to overcome challenges and know how to respond to adversity and to accept awards with humility and to show empathy to their classmates. Because again, that's going to show up when they're an adult, regardless of the career path that they choose.
Wonderful. Jessica?
I think for me and for us, so we're a very diverse school. So the first thing is just understanding the value that everybody brings to the table. So it's, you're going to have students who, and we're also at Davenport A+ Elementary, which is one of North Carolina's original arts integrated schools. And so, you're going to have students that might be strong in math and some others that might be stronger in reading. And then you're going to have some students that are great at visual art, some students that are great at singing or playing an instrument or acting. And so I think the first thing we do is really highlighting the how diversity can bring so much richness to whatever project it is. Not everybody is the same, and that's okay. We all have our own strengths. I would say one of the second examples that we do that's specific to how, because it's elementary school, so I'm preparing them for those next steps, is a social emotional curriculum called the Zones of Regulation. And so it's like really just teaching students at a young age how to, that self-awareness, like I am angry, like identifying those emotions, I'm angry, and then giving them strategies for solving those problems whenever that happens, or appropriate reactions in situations, because it happens from the time you are 2 years old to the time you're an adult in a professional career, learning how to manage those emotions and then approach situations in a positive and healthy way, whether we're having a peer conflict with two second graders, or whether you're an adult having needing to have an important critical conversation with a coworker. I think all of those things are important, and to embed those early on is important for us.
Wonderful. Laura?
At Scotland, one of the things that I'm most, we focus on, we're very rural, impoverished district as well. And we focus on just trying to help kids find something, some way to come back and contribute to their community or wherever they choose to, to end up. One of the things that I think is I'm most proud of here is our CTE programs. We offer, we have a restaurant on campus that's open to the public that is run by our students in our culinary program. We were the first school in the state to have the drone technology pathway in CTE, so our kids can do that. We offer plumbing and, electrical trades, just a lot of different things for kids to, pursue different areas and figure out what my passion might be. We had one of our OCS students who we found out this week got accepted to 2 colleges. And so, for one of our, students with those needs to be able to pursue a higher education is just amazing. And so we're super proud of them. And then our ROTC program, we have a very very big ROTC program, and students, we have students who could go to college, but they choose to go to the military because they want to, serve our country. And, I just think it's all in a matter of providing the opportunities for them to explore different areas. And, I like to tell our kids sometimes it's as much finding things that are not a fit for you as it is finding what is a fit for you, because you don't want to go to college or go to trade school or go into a career that you hate, or enter a major where you're not going to be happy and then you're having to stay in school longer. So finding things that don't fit your personality or your pathway in life are just as important as finding the things that do. But I'm very proud of the opportunities that we have here at Scotland to allow students to pursue just different passions.
Jason, I'd love to hear from you because I've been able to be in your high school, so I've had some glimpses for sure.
I would tell you at Orange High School, we work really hard to ensure that each one of our students have a trusted adult that can help guide them into the next phase of their life. So that's one of the most important things we can do here at Orange High School. Also, we work really hard for our students to have a voice as well as creative voice 9 through 12, right? Like we would like to see them develop as they go through. We have a very robust CTE program here at Orange High School, offering all types of classes from ag mechanics to animal science to all our business courses. And our kids really love our CTE courses. We also support our kids by being a part of the community college life as well. And we also have a lot of AP classes and upper level classes that we offer for our students. So here at Orange High School, the students can get a very well-rounded and balanced high school life is what I'm looking for that helps prepare them for the next level. One of the AP courses that I'm extremely proud of is AP African American, because here at Orange High School, we went ahead and implemented it while the country was going through all this backlash, especially in Florida and maybe even Texas. And one of the reasons why that course is so important is because, it's so important and the research is real clear. When students of color learn about themselves and their history, it builds a lot of confidence in them. You see that the achievement goes up, the discipline goes down. And also, even with our white students, right, like they start fighting for injustices and they start seeing things from a completely different lens. So, and I just think that's an awesome way how we're helping our kids go into the next life as like social fighters, so to speak.
Thank you so much. And Kelly.
Yes, we actually had the opportunity to implement the Leader in Me framework, the Stephen Covey framework, last year. And I'll be honest with you, that has changed the culture of our building, especially starting with our students. I'll just share a little kind of experience we had last year with our kiddos. We compiled a group of 4th and 5th grade kids. And we challenged them to raise money to go out into our community and give out $100 bills to complete strangers. And so when we got together, we planned, we talked about those durable skills, those public speaking skills, all that good stuff. We were building leaders at the same time we were trying to spread kindness in our community. But their goal was $2,000, or my goal was $2,000. And the kids are like, no, Miss Withrow, we definitely can hit 5,000. Well, I'm here to say we hit almost $13,000. And those kids achieved it all by themselves. They called businesses. We visited, we walked the streets of downtown Lincolnton. They brought a bunch of business leaders in, fed them lunch, gave a big presentation on their vision and what they wanted to accomplish in our community. And it's just reflecting back, kind of like many of us have said, our community is a needy community. And I am a principal to Title I school, and those kids right now in their lives, they don't have $100 bill to give out. And so I can tell you that day, we were more blessed than the people that received the $100. Like that taught more than just reading math, science, and social studies that day. That just talked a lot about just those emotional things that you get to experience. So that was kind of a fun experience for us at Battleground last year.
That's amazing. I just appreciate all of these examples so much. And I knew you were awesome before we started. And now I get to really appreciate that even more. Thank you so much. We will continue this conversation with our Wells Fargo Regional Principals of the Year after the break. Welcome back. We are so pleased to continue this conversation with our North Carolina Regional Principals of the Year. One of the things I know you all will have a chance to do is to lift up certain issues or areas as part of a platform as your Regional Principals of the Year. And I wonder if one or two of you would like to share what some of those issues are that you are planning to lift up, if you're ready to share that. I feel like John might be ready, but or Kelly, which one?
John, take it away.
I could spend a whole hour talking about things that I think would impact, the opportunities that the students that I serve get, right? But the reality is that we're working from a budget, right? So there has to be money that's pulled from it. And so the main thing that I would say is a priority is just re-emphasizing the fact that public schools are a public good, that they are an investment in the future of our great state, that if we don't invest in public schools, then we're not providing opportunity for students to lift themselves up out of challenging situations. I believe that public education is the great equalizer. Students deserve an opportunity to have a highly qualified, certified teacher in front of them, opening doors to their success and knocking down barriers that are in front of them. And I think there's a lot of things that can help in that. I think that a stronger investment in public schools is certainly one of them. But I also think that there's some things that could be done that, wouldn't cost a lot of money. An example, I've talked to Jake about this, that public schools would appreciate some of the flexibilities that charter schools currently have, right? I give this example often. I think it's a good example that I feel like sometimes traditional public schools compared to charter public schools are like playing baseball, and charter schools get to use metal bats at times with some of the flexibilities that they have around calendars and hiring and personnel and how they use their money and how they offer transportation, and traditional public schools are governed by more specific statutes. That's not charter school principals challenge. They're doing the best that they can for their students, as they should. I just wish that I had some of the flexibilities to do those same things for my kids. And so, I would advocate that public schools are a public good, regardless if it's traditional public school or a public charter school. Both of them are creating citizens that will be the future employees in North Carolina to carry our great state forward. So some of the ask would be a stronger investment in public schools, but then part of the ask also would just be flexibilities that have been proven to be successful in other areas of schools be offered to all schools in North Carolina.
Well, and when you say that, right, our public schools serve about 85% of our kids, which is 1.5 million kids this year, right? And so when you think about that, it's just amazing, the scope of what all of you are leading in our schools. Thank you for taking time with us to learn and think about education. That's all for today, and we'll see you next week.